And as part of the deal that means that he won't have to serve any time in jail, he agreed to perform 50 hours of community service and donate money to a community center. Tonight, victims' relatives say that's simply not good enough.
What's that compared to what we lost? Is that going to compensate it?
As a mother wondered about justice, others offered prayers tonight at the site where 87 people lost their lives in a fire set by an arsonist more than 2 years ago. Jay Weiss, shown here with wife Kathleen Turner at a gala 2 years ago, has always maintained he was never aware of the building code violations at Happyland. Today, as part of the plea bargain to avoid jail time, Weiss, however, did admit that the club had neither a permit to operate as a cabaret or an adequate sprinkler system.
He, of course, does not feel legally responsible. That was caused by somebody who took gasoline in and set it afire and killed people. But he does feel a tremendous moral responsibility to do whatever he can to help.
Still, Weiss's penalty, performing what amounts to just over 2 days of community service and putting up $60,000 toward a community center, strikes some victims' relatives and their attorneys as little more than a slap on the wrist.
I think it's an outrage. I think the fact that a landlord can pay $60,000 and provide some community service to the city and get away with murdering 87 people is something we all should be up in arms about.
As community members offered prayers tonight, Juan Colon remembered his only son, 18-year-old Juan Carlos. A promising photographer who had won several video awards, Colon Jr. had come to the club to research a documentary on Honduran immigrants.
But I feel hungry. I feel sad to see how miserable people think about justice.
And now Mr. Colon says he doesn't know when justice will be done. Another real estate executive, Alex DiLorenzo, is charged with 4 misdemeanor counts of involuntary building violations. He faces a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail if convicted. Roland?
What about the city? Any blame there on their part?
The judge, in effect, absolved the city of any responsibility, so now it's on the shoulders of the landlords. So we saw what happened with Mr. Weiss, and we're going to have to see what happens with Mr. DiLorenzo.
All right, thank you, Chuck. In Asbury Park tonight, overwhelming grief grips the community.